How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me put in the comments. Hopefully it'll work. If not, I might have to start this thing over, guys. I did it again. Oh my god. Really? Alright, well I can't, I'm sorry guys, I can't see your, I can't see your comments, but we'll try our best to get through this. I guess I want to start by saying that, you know, the idea of Ôstara, of Ôstara, this idea of springtime, and it isn't necessarily the beginning. It is the dawn, right? It is finding the dawn, something to grab onto, something to latch onto, so that this way we are able to move forward. Moving forward doesn't necessarily mean moving linearly. Moving forward means moving beyond ourself, moving beyond that which we can become our fullest potential. And when we work with the goddesses, when we work with any of the goddesses, and I want to say clearly that I don't normally define my own belief system as a Druid to you, but it is up to me to be that hard polytheist, so that this way when you talk to me about who the god or gods of your understanding are, I can work with you. Not all goddesses are alike. There is no goddess exact to another goddess. Many people will say, well, it's just a different name in a different land, and that's fine if that's what you believe. But I believe that it all exists. And we cannot clearly be who we are if we do not allow ourselves to flourish. And that's what the goddesses would want. They would want that the goddesses of spring, the goddesses of blossoming, would want us to flourish. And so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to talk to you about these 4 steps that prevent us from blossoming. And then what I want to do is I want to tell you what you know, what you think you know. And then once we know what we know, we're going to repair that. And once we repair it, we are going to create an effect that allows us to get past it to blossom. And then obviously we're going to conclude with Druid. But beyond all of that, tonight is going to be a little bit different, because tonight, instead of doing the Fertility, which is the Druidic mantra, instead of doing the Fertility, we are going to do that Fertility at the blossoming stage of each step. Let's begin. I come to you as Druid Naklas Daklan. And I only want to see greatness in you. When we talk about blossoming and we think about it, we think about the flowers. We think about that these goddesses of spring are actually, in a way, chaotic goddesses, because when you look at spring and you look at the effects of spring and you look at the things of spring, everything looks different. We each blossom in our own way, as plants and trees blossom in their own ways. So what are those things that prevent us from blossoming? What are those things that keep us from moving out of the cave? Step 1, that even in your hardest moments, know that you are a fighter. And those are going to be hardest moments. Because whenever we are blossoming, it's actually a very painful process that we go through to shine. You know, it's a very painful process. And what we need to do is think about and focus on the blossoming instead of that which we have to go through to blossom. Sometimes it's easier just to do and not necessarily think about the most painful moments. One of the things in this, the thing that you need to know in this step, is that your existence, your very existence is being challenged. Your very existence is being challenged. And that's part of growth. When your existence is being challenged, you tend to want to move backwards rather than moving forward. But we need to continue to step forward through those challenges to get to a place of bloom. And in order to repair that knowledge, we need to erase all negative words from our mind. We need to replace the don't, the won't, the can't. We need to replace the no. We need to replace the stop. We need to take those words out of our vocabulary, because words have power. Now, I understand, though, that even in, and I really kind of detest it to an extent. Even in that movie, The Secret, that many of you've seen, they say that the gods don't understand no and don't and won't. Well, say that's true. You do. You do. And so, every time a negative word enters into your head, you freeze, you pause, and you replace it with something fresh and positive. Once that repair is made, then we can blossom with this viril, that Druidic mantra. I write, nothing slows me down, because I am free from all necessary weight. Think about the things that weigh down in your life. It's time to cut those chains, because you cannot move out of the cave. You cannot move from the canal until you cut the umbilical cord. You cannot be free until that cord is cut, until you remove yourself from that canal, until you are able to be free and fly. Nothing slows me down because I am free from all unnecessary weight. Step 2. Don't give up. You are still growing, and you can bloom and grow. Know that the weight of the world is upon you. Know that. The weight of the world is upon you. And when that weight of the world is upon you, you feel heavy. The repair to that, the repair to that knowledge is to detach yourself from all things that bring you to a lower level. And when you're brought to that lower level, you then cannot see what's above. You can only see what's around you while you are in that drowning point. But you want to reach above the water. You want to reach for the light. You want to reach for that blossom. You want to reach for spring. And here is your for real for that. I write, it doesn't end this way because I am in control. It doesn't end this way because I am in control. And when you think about it that way, you are able to place pinpoints upon your life where you can look back and say, wow, it was there, and there that I was going to be done with it all. And be it whether it was your own choice or another, whether it was optional or whether it came or however it came to you in that circumstance, whether it's voluntary or involuntary, you knew that it was up. Your time was up and you passed through the gate. So detach yourself from all things that keep you drowning. Think about it. If you could cut those ties with everyone and every situation, you must, you can, and you will. Step 3. The process and circumstances are rocky. The process and the circumstances are rocky. I want you to know this, that you are filled with self-doubt. You are filled with self-doubt. You are naturally filled with it. And that comes from years and years of being nurtured into believing that. It's the self-doubt. It's the not being able to do because the doubt in your mind is so high. The repair to that is this. Know the facts about the circumstances. Break down the rocks by chunking. I stated that it would be a rocky road, right? And there's two things here that are important for this repair. And that is, number one, to understand that I want you to remove those facts from the circumstance. Remove the facts from the circumstance and not necessarily place emotion into the circumstance, because when emotion is in the circumstance, you end up not being able to think clearly. Remove the facts from the circumstances and read the facts to yourself. This is what's happening. Once you have those facts, then chunk the rocks, because each one of those facts is a rock, and that's what creates that rocky path. That's what creates you from blooming, from blossoming. In order to blossom, here is your varir. I move the meteor coming at me to always land somewhere else, because my God or gods give me that power. In this case, goddesses. Or goddess. I move the meteor from coming at me. I move it, okay, to always land somewhere else, because my goddess or goddesses gave me that power. Step 4. When no one sees me, no one can help me. When no one sees me, no one can help me. Know this. You cannot find the solution when you are the problem. You cannot find the solution when you are the problem. Here's the repair to that thought. Move the problem away from you and drop it into the situation. Then you can create objectives. So those rocks that we encountered in step 2, we created steps so that we could see clearly what the facts of the situation, of the circumstance were. But here what we're doing is we took now all of those facts, and now we're creating objectives. Those objectives will help us summarize those facts, create objectives from the steps, and so our rocky road is no longer as rocky as we thought it was. Our rocky road might have some stumbling blocks, but they're going to feel more like pebbles. And then drop those, if you will, drop that problem or those problems back into the situation again. So you're taking them, you're reading them, you're putting them back into the situation. And with those objectives, you are now finding solutions. And that is one of the most important things in step 3 that you can be doing. Finally, step 4 that you could be doing. Finally, in step 4, the blossoming is very simple. The stars in the sky I write, the stars in the sky are no longer in the sky, because the goddesses placed them in my hands and I made them shine. The stars in the sky are no longer in the sky, because they are now the goddess has now placed them in my hands, and I'm now able to shine. And I think that from step 4, that truly is it. When we think about a conclusion for tonight, I created some statements that I want you to think about. Number 1, dream the unimaginable. Dream the unimaginable. Don't dream higher. Don't think linearly. Dream beyond. Dream the unimaginable. Dream that which you feel is almost infinitesimal in happening. That's what you need to dream about. Next, make your own decisions and be responsible for them. Make your own decisions. Allow yourself to feel deeply and experience greatly. We must be able to feel, the situation and know the gravity of it. Yet, removing the facts like we did in step 2, removing the facts, we are now able to create solutions because we are examining them now not as simple rocks, but as a total problem. So now we could create the objective and reach the goal, and the end goal is blossoming. Voice and rejoice loudly. Voice and rejoice loudly. Be grateful. When you feel that you've made a step in blossoming during this springtime, during Ôstara, when you feel that you are blossoming in a great way, you must voice and rejoice greatly to the goddess or God or goddesses of your understanding. Know your worth. Sometimes we forget it. We forget how important we are to ourselves. We forget our importance in the world. We forget our value. We forget that we all have value. And not only believe in who you are, but believe in who the goddesses or gods of your understanding made you to be. Don't simply, say it's enough to know that you exist, but know not only your worth, but believe in that worth. Believe in that value. You can know your value, but you also must believe in that value. Because the pantheon or pantheons of your understanding gave you that value. It's up to you to do with it what you want. I normally summarize by talking about Druid and magic. And I think that it's really important that the magic is in an underlying answer that we talked about tonight that we did not actually, state. How does one blossom? Well, one blossoms by following these very simple steps that I created for you. But number 2, the most important thing is to experience natural occurrences in the world. Natural, not doctor, natural occurrences in the world. Natural occurrences, not doctor, not woke AF druidry, not the woke AF crowd. That's all doctored, that's all agenda. Natural occurrences. The sun rises, the sun sets. You cannot change that. You're biologically male, you're biologically female. You cannot change that. Sure, you could doctor that, you can alter the course of what you were given. but natural occurrences. Everything else is unnatural. And so when we as people know that those natural occurrences are able to do the most remarkable thing, whether it's the sun rising or setting, whether it's seeing a plant or tree blossoming and in full bloom at the end of spring, right? The most natural thing that we can do is smile. And when we experience that beautiful occurrence, that natural occurrence, we look at it and we simply smile. And I think that's so beautiful, right? And then when we smile, we are truly enjoying them. We didn't invent the smile. We didn't create the smile. We didn't do any of that. We just simply made the smile because it naturally occurred. You see, if you ever want to know what's true or what's not, nature is true, nurture is not. Nurture is being told that you are something other than what you truly are. When what deep down inside, you are what you are, and there is no question to it. And how you are what you are, and there is no question to it, how you are what you are, and there is no question to it, how it is what it is, and there is no question to it. That is the key to tonight's magic. We certainly covered tonight more than just one fertility. We covered 4 of them. I talked about some conclusion, if you will, some conclusive thoughts. One that I want to highlight is not only knowing your worth, but believing in it. Believing in the value that you have, and believing in the value that the God or goddesses or goddess have bestowed upon you. That truly is awesome. Whatever it is, springtime is greatness. It is greatness. It's not to delineate any other of the 8 seasons, more so as a Druid the 4, but it is to encourage you to say how powerful these seasons are when you work in harmony with them. That, my brothers and sisters, is the key to tonight's talk. Practice your magic. Practice experiencing those natural events and allow the reflection of those natural events to be natural as well. When that sun rises and you see the embers coming in the morning, just smile at it. Just smile at it. Make it as natural as possible. You don't have to force it. It's just gonna come. And I think that that is the beauty of tonight's story, of tonight's Serene Sunday. And now, for your blessing. Wherever you're at, whenever you're at, may the gods bless you. May the goddesses keep you. May the mysticals and the fae shine their light upon you. May your ancestors remain with you forever and ever. Kirawan. I certainly had a wonderful time exploring with you tonight, teaching you some things hopefully that you did not know and will know now, and practice them. More importantly, practice them. Play this back so that you incorporate my words into your life. That's the magic of magic itself. Betshegobra, the 4 simple words of Druidism. It all works out. Aranit. Burn your torches through the night. Girawan. The idea of believing in something so deeply, so innately, that you aren't simply inspiration, but that you are within inspiration to create that belief. You are then inspired to believe. You are not simply believing, but that there is inspiration behind it. Est le mogui. Ta she fear. Ta she fear. Whatever time of day it is, make it great. Keep it great. And remember that you must blossom this spring. Not because you have to blossom this spring, but because it is natural to blossom this spring. Happy Ôstara, everyone. Happy Ôstara. Happy season of the dawn.